What's going on out there, Culture Junkies? Welcome back to Culture Junkies Live. I'm your host, Kishiro. Today we're going to be talking about, well, what else? Deadpool and Wolverine and that staggering news coming out of Comic-Con and a bunch of other really cool stuff that we also got to get to. But before I get to that, let me introduce who's going to be on the show with me today. We are stacked today. We got the Great Dadakuji. We got GQ. We got King Amarak, the man who was too bald for today. And Simon says, what's going on? As he sips on his Nespresso, as GQ called it, I think it was. So that's a very sophisticated concoction you got there, my friend.
I just like coffee.
Okay. Okay. Well, a lot of people do. I mean, I don't know if people like coffee like at your time, 8 p.m. at night, but hey, whatever floats your boat, I guess.
Man, he getting his Chappelle on. He's like, look, I'm just a brother that like boobs.
Grade A New York boobs.
Right. So a couple of news items that we want to talk about today before we deep dive into Deadpool and Wolverine, and as we'll let people kind of matriculate their way onto the show and start to discuss some stuff. So first things first, those of you out there that may not know, Christopher Nolan is a huge fan of the Halo franchise. I guess he used to play the games even while he was cutting his teeth making movies. But now that Paramount Plus has canceled their Halo TV show, he is interested in purchasing the rights to the Halo TV franchise. As someone on this, I think in the pre-show was saying each episode of Halo would be 2 hours long or something like that. Is that correct? Knowing Nolan and his penchant for making very visually stunning but very thought-provoking things. What do you guys think of the news of he wanted to purchase Halo? What would you hope for?
Like accurate lore and shit. Hopefully it makes it or hell, I hope he gets my man that does the voice for Master Chief. And then just like make sure that he does not take his helmet off at all. That would be cool. Just to see that, I would definitely watch it. But
only way you're gonna get that, you got to get Carl Urban to play Master Chief.
Yeah,
I don't think this would be a franchise that someone like Nolan should take on. Like it is like epic and major shit happening constantly, but not enough to where it would be a lot of Halo with fluff, and Halo's already kind of fluffy.
Are you saying this because Nolan is not known as an action director? Is that what your premise is?
It would be a Halo passion piece, but the action and things that would come out of it would just be like native. So it wouldn't have to be something he would have to try with. It would just be something that's in the story that's easy enough to work with, is explosions and guns. It's
my
Halo.
friend.
It's not that crazy, but he's too up there for Halo.
Did you watch Tenet?
Yes.
And you're still saying that he couldn't do a Halo TV show?
I'm not saying that he couldn't. I'm just saying that like he would have to go so far out with everything he's doing that it would be more Halo than Halo is, which don't do that. Leave it as it is.
More Halo than Halo.
More Halo than Halo. What?
Because he would over the top it like crazy, and you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm trying to say.
No, apparently I don't. GQ, what were you gonna say?
Tenet to me ain't really a great example because we rented the theater to see Tenet during COVID, and I wasn't really all that impressed with Tenet. It was okay. It was fun to watch, but I enjoyed it. Again, it was okay. It wasn't like mind blowing and all that special. Nolan, for me, like Inception was great. The visuals were amazing. Nolan is great at doing some ridiculous stuff with practical effects, and obviously we know his legacy with Batman and Dark Knight especially. Nolan's, for me, some of his best work is his earlier stuff like The Prestige and stuff like that, where it's like it's more character driven and story driven. And Halo for me is and Iguana Man said it in the chat, it might be just a little too violent for him. It might be too much away from his normal style of doing things. But again, I'm not saying he can't do it. He's a great director. So who knows? You get a great script in front of him, I'm sure he can make it happen. But like Amarak is saying, I think it's something that's just a little bit out of his wheelhouse, maybe too far out of his wheelhouse. So who knows?
Okay.
Want
Want to say
Omega
what's
King
up
to
to
King.
Yes, sir. King to Keem is checking in. We got Hannah Omega on Twitch checking in. Good to see you. See the both of you along with Iguana Man. Another piece of news that I kind of wanted to get to. Amarak, you brought up an impending release. Marcus A64, thank you for checking in. An impending release of the game called Star Wars Outlaws. When is that game supposed to come out? When is it supposed to come out?
I literally read everything except for the release date on this thing.
I thought it was next week, other than the 9th.
Yeah, like it's
that soon.
It's super close.
Yeah, super close.
Yeah.
I got again, I haven't been like keeping like directly on top of it, but damn.
After the beta, they kind of got quiet.
I didn't even remember there was a beta.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I didn't know there was a beta. Wait a minute.
A beta.
Is a beta for pre-order people, right? Is that
it was like it was like 3 weeks ago, yeah.
Because there were some people playing it.
Damn.
No, he's right.
Okay,
some people are playing it. The release date is August 30th, though.
August 30th, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Right. Look at King to King was like, wait, there was a beta? Like,
yeah, that's
if there was a beta, like I would love to have been in on that.
For a Star Wars, I'm sorry, for a Star Wars game, real quick, I'm gonna say this. For a Star Wars game, to none of us to really know that much about it, that's not a good look. Go ahead, Simon says.
I love it.
It's funny though, because like I was literally watching. There's some people had posted it up playing it on YouTube. A couple of a couple of people that I watched, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" Like, there's a beta out, and I didn't know about it either.
Wow.
And then so I be honest with you, and the company that's the devs, Massive, they do this shit all the time. They like will release something, they'll post a beta up, don't tell nobody about it, because like they've done it a couple of times, or like public testing for shit like that, and then don't say anything, and it's like, oh yeah, you missed it. Oh well.
They do know that a beta is supposed to be like, a stress test.
Yes, exactly.
You kind of want as many people as possible trying your beta.
Okay.
Hold on. Is this under EA or is this something?
No, this is Ubisoft. Ubisoft does this a lot, man. Yeah, exactly.
No more.
Exactly.
No. Don't say that. Don't be all doom and gloom, because I'm looking forward to this game. Don't do this to me.
I'm looking forward to it too. However, EA and Ubisoft, when it comes to certain, like EA, we already know. Come on, is EA. The sports games. That's the best thing they can do. It have been doing in the past.
And
Ubisoft is Assassin's Creed, and that's kind of all they do.
Yep. But and like I said, I told you, Massive. This company has a history of posting up like spectacular like game trailers, and then when you play the game, you'd be like, "What the fuck is this? This is not what you like had advertised."
Yeah.
On the game on that game trailer, on the gameplay trailer.
Okay.
So I'm just saying.
Okay, so you're accusing them of false advertising. I'll grant you that. I did watch some gameplay trailers maybe a month ago. It was like 15 minutes worth of gameplay, and to me, it looked exactly like it was advertised. Now, if you're saying they're gonna pull a fast one and completely change the gameplay after that, that might be a problem.
I don't think they're changing the gameplay. I saw a TikTok, and they had side by sides of what they previewed and what the beta was showing, and like the preview looked darker, it looked more detailed, it looked like more things going on, and the beta looked like it was more
Unreal 5.
Yeah, I don't know, but so it did look like it was going to be a little. The gameplay looked exactly the same. The graphics did look like it was a little bit less quality. I won't go as far as less to what I remember seeing. No. Like not bad, but just like not as detailed as what they showed.
Okay. Plus, you got to remember, a trailer, you're going to give your best render. A beta is going to be somebody. It's almost like somebody grabbed a VHS copy versus my DVD copy of the exact same movie. Mm-hmm. You're not going to get the best quality from somebody's recording of a beta versus the studio putting out their thing.
What they really showed us looked more like their in-engine was something that they built ground up. When we got it, it looked more like very well-tuned Unreal 5 assets.
Right. What's up to
That's like
Sharita
that's the
Jackson
best way to
checking
put it.
in? It's been a minute since
Hey,
you've been
Sharita.
here. Good to see you.
How you doing? Good to see you.
YOLO.
Okay, so let's hopefully Star Wars Outlaws is going to be great. We got like maybe a good 4 weeks until that comes out. I'm very much looking forward to that. Can't wait to play.
I'm going to put a
it's-
staggering amount of
they-
hours into that.
Yeah, if they want to pull a old school back in the day rare and suddenly push it back and this comes out like spectacular, I wouldn't be hurt.
Just don't do a cyberpunk where they just don't do a
And then
cyberpunk.
it'll be fixed in the next 5 years over the next 2 years.
Yeah, just don't do that. Yeah,
Right.
just don't do that. Sharita, it's nice to see you too. So now, last bit of news before we jump into the Deadpool news. Someone on TMZ walked up to Jonathan Majors today and asked him about another news items that we're going to be talking about, which is the casting of Robert Downey Jr. returning to the MCU as Dr. Doom. But really, the question was posed as, how do you feel that Marvel has pivoted away from Kang and Robert Downey Jr. being allowed to come back? And I'm going to paraphrase what Jonathan Majors said. He basically said, "I'm heartbroken that that Marvel is moving away from the Kang storyline because I love Kang. I think he's a great character. I really had a really great time playing the character and wanted to develop him, but that's no. So I'm disappointed to see that that they're doing that. As far as Robert Downey Jr. goes, he says, I have great respect for Mr. Downey, and he was like, I find it interesting that he was given a second chance to resurrect his career and welcome back, and I was not. Essentially, I was not given that chance, which I think is really that's really I understand he has to say that, but I feel like he's really conflating two different situations altogether with that. That isn't to say that he isn't going to get his chance at redemption. I truly believe in my heart of hearts that he will. It's just going to take some time. Some time needs to pass after this Grace Jabari thing and him being convicted of misdemeanors, not felonies. People need to understand that he is not a felon, unlike a former U.S. president that literally embarrassed himself today. That has 34 felonies.
You talk about that man can't never embarrass himself. He's the greatest president for black people since Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, they sat down and had dinner once. Yeah, like back on the Jonathan Majors thing. Here's and again, I understand he wants to be judicious about this. You got to be, because that's the only way you're going to potentially get back in their good graces. Because here's the major difference between Downey Jr. and Jonathan Majors. Downey had all his problems well before they cast him as Tony Stark. Kang Majors was already Kang. Then he got in trouble. There's a huge difference between those two things. You were under contract when you got in trouble. Downey, they didn't want him at first, and it took Favreau and let Terrence Howard tell it. Terrence Howard go into bat for Robert Downey Jr. to get him an Iron Man. But he wasn't under contract when he had all them problems, and that was years removed. Majors, you did it, again, guilty or not, misdemeanor, felony or not, whatever, after you were already cast as the character and you were under contract with Disney. So,
yeah, that's
we already know. Yeah, we already know how Disney is when it comes to bad PR and their prominent franchises. So, so hopefully, like I said, hopefully he will. Who's he with? Making Good.
Yes.
Yep.
Hopefully she will keep him calm and under wraps.
Stay good with good.
Right. Don't dress him like a 1930s newsboy. And then we'll go from there. But
yeah.
Like again,
I love it.
I like I said, I'm glad he put a statement out and was judicious about it, but it's like, bro, they're two completely separate two completely separate situations. And let's be real, Downey is part of the reason they made about $30 billion over the last 12 months. I'm sorry, 12 years. So let's be real.
Yes, sir. All right, so
what's up to Fallen Marvel?
What's up to Fallen Marvel? Good to see you. So I think we've given enough time. People have matriculated in. It's about 15 minutes into the program. Let's talk about Deadpool and Wolverine. This movie came out. We all got together, saw it on Thursday. Amarak saw it on Sunday. I think you and the missus went and saw it on Sunday. So everybody on this panel has seen it. Now, full disclosure, there will be spoilers in this thing. A movie of this magnitude requires such a thing. And because people on social media are assholes, there's a very good chance you've seen a lot of the stuff online anyway. If we're being honest.
Marcus A64 has not seen this movie. Seriously?
Wait a minute. What?
Oh, buddy, I understand that you have a life and probably have lots of kids, but still sometimes you gotta sneak away and go see that movie, dude.
Yeah,
it's like I'm going. Yeah, I mean, you can stop it right now and go see it.
Oh, he's seeing it Friday.
He's seeing it Friday.
All right, brother.
Okay.
Come back in about.
Well, I'm about his movie gooning session is long, man. I don't know. He's edging on those movies. I don't know how you do
before
that,
he leaves. I love the whole edging thing. That's hilarious.
That's crazy.
The question I got to ask him: if he's seeing it on Friday, has he managed to not be spoiled thus far? Because if he has, that is an amazing amount of discipline on your friend, and you are to be applauded. You are to be applauded. Anyway, moving right along.
One man saying Friday, don't come back in about 35 to 40 minutes.
Yeah, really.
Exactly. So let's get into it. First and foremost, that opening of Deadpool and Wolverine might have been the most entertaining opening to a comic book film I have ever seen.
It desecrates the legend of Logan.
Fuck him. I don't want to hear none of that.
It just wipes the whole movie away. That movie doesn't even make it. Oh no.
Oh fuck all that. Go ahead. I don't want to know that. That shit was hilarious, man. Absolutely hilarious. And I hate the dudes that are out there that are always crying about how they didn't like this movie because it wasn't what they expected, because it was nonstop joke fest and cameos and stuff like that. I was like, excuse me,
have y'all ever read a Deadpool comic?
Never mind that. Have you seen a Deadpool movie before? Like, what are you talking about?
Again, like I said, everybody can have their opinion on it. I'm almost honestly at this point seeing when people say stuff like that is maybe possibly part of a grift, because at some point you can't be that blind to what the trailer showed you. This is the third movie. It's like, you know what you're going into, you know what you're walking into. If you have expectations that this was going to be Martin Scorsese's Transformers, or this is going to be like,
that's a deep throwback for y'all.
Absolutely. Or like, that this is going to be anything but what the trailer showed you with Ryan Reynolds and all of his crazy social media posts and all the various commercials and everything that they've showed you and led up to this movie, and you thinking you about to get another end game, that's your fault. And if you're disappointed, sorry for you. Like, at this point, I don't even care when people say stuff like that, because it's like, okay, either you're trolling, grifting, or you just don't pay attention to what your eyes have been seeing the whole time, or you just jumped into this. This is the first movie you've ever seen out of all of Marvel. It's like, come on now, this has been around for 15 years now.
Yeah, I want to hear that excuse. So, but no, just the sheer level of action, the violence that we had in that opening, the choreography of it was just immaculate. And again, playing NSYNC's Bye 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 in it just made it all the more funny. Just made it all the more funny. Rioso, thank you for joining the Culture Junkie Nation over there on Twitch. And he has the line of the stream so far. But why was Thor crying? That's what everybody wants to know right now. Why was Thor crying? The greatest unsolved mystery. I love that. No, I love that. If y'all haven't seen the movie yet, yeah, that's one of the driving forces of the movie for Deadpool. Why was Thor crying? Yeah. Anyway, I digress.
Good job, Bri.
Yes, great job, Rio. So, That was funny.
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
interested to hear you
Super
gentlemen.
Nerd Plus is in the house.
Super Nerd Plus in the house.
Hello, sir. Deadpool does not have a plot, which I disagree with, by the way. I totally
Absolutely.
disagree.
The plot
I
was
totally
to save
disagree.
his world.
Yeah, I totally disagree with the notion
was the whole
that
thing.
this
He
movie
was-
did not have a plot, or that the plot was somehow shallow or something like that. And most people that say that they're just too focused on the cameos and all the other kind of stuff to really see what the plot really was at the end. But I don't want to talk too much more. I want to hear from Simon Says and from Dido and Amarat about this movie, what you loved and about it, and what were your favorite moments maybe in it. Amarat, let's hear from you first, because you went to see it with the other half.
Well, I went into this thinking more along the lines of the plot is 100% going to be what it was, which is just a bunch of chaos and Deadpool insanity and cameos and fourth wall breaks and literally everything that was there. I don't understand this thing where people were upset where there's too many cameos and it was a cash grab and things like, no, these are all the properties that need to be brought to light. And the only person right now who can do this is Deadpool. I'm not going to call him the Marvel word that he used in the movie only because it feels weird still. But it's accurate.
Well,
It's
I mean,
terrifyingly accurate.
Maybe it's not because of what happened in Comic-Con this weekend. That actual moniker might belong to Robert Downey Jr. Just saying.
I kind of want to say that's them doing some Marvel stuff, trying to throw us off. And yes, he'll pop up as Doom, but then whoever's playing the real Doom, who they've kept under wraps, is going to like off him or something from another verse of some type, and then it won't be a thing.
It's very possible.
Yep.
Super Nerd, hang on to that theory about Doom until later on in the show. We will be bringing that back around after the Deadpool discussion.
Yeah. Simon Says, what was your take on the movie?
I liked all the Wolverine variants. the funniest one where they had the Age of Apocalypse and he beating the crap.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Funny. And then I guess they had the weird brown outfit Wolverine versus the Hulk.
Wait a minute, wait. How's that weird? That's the classic John Byrne.
They said it wasn't John Byrne.
Yeah, he wasn't supposed to. That was the if they were doing like the actual first appearance, it should have been the Amazing Blue Wolverine fighting the Hulk.
Absolutely.
Brown and yellow.
Absolutely.
Oh yes,
brown and yellow
right.
did not.
Yes.
Brown and yellow wasn't a thing until Giant Size.
Yeah, but yeah, that and then like you said, all the cameos. The one I liked the most was the. I'm not gonna say it. I'll wait till you guys say it. But the one that I would say that my wife didn't like was the Captain America throw off Johnny Storm. She didn't like that. She did not like that.
That was.
He's gonna say it. He's gonna say it.
Yeah.
Avenger,
flame on,
dude. That our theater was freaking floored when that happened, bro.
Yeah.
We were sitting there like, what?
Yes.
That was so cool.
Yeah, dude, I literally screamed. I was like, dude, it's Johnny. I was like, oh man, that is awesome. That's so great.
They kept flashing the blue on certain parts of the suit, and it was like the same stitch work as Cap, and they did that.
It was beautiful subterfuge.
That was great.
Great misdirect. Great misdirect. Great stuff.
All right, Dido, what was your thoughts, my friend?
Look, I was in that whole entire theater with everybody else going like, oh my gosh, this and this. And you know me, I know of comics, like when they were showing the variants of the Wolverines, when they were showing, you know, various stuff from the old movies and stuff like that. I'm getting a kick out of it. For me, I think the biggest fucking crack or a joke is when Blade was like, I don't like that guy. Right. And then and Deadpool says something, and I forget exactly what he says, but it was it was a whole quip on how he didn't like Ryan Reynolds while filming Blade Trinity. And I'm in there like, I don't know if I was the only one. I'm pretty sure other people got it, but I think I was the only one that reacted as loudly to that as everybody reacted to the other stuff. So, the whole movie was great. It was fun, tongue in cheek. Like you said, if you've seen other Deadpool movies, you knew what you were getting into. And I enjoyed every single minute of it. Single minute of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
really,
I just wonder where they're going to go from here. if they're going to do more, because the whole thing was him saving his world. And if his world is the Fox universe, I thought it was supposed to be saying goodbye to the Fox universe, because that's what it felt like to me. Homage, a goodbye to the Fox universe. Yeah, you guys didn't make a whole lot of, you made some fun stuff. And it was fun to watch. And there was some crappy shit. And there was some, continuity bull crap that, nobody cared, but it was there and it paved the way to what we got today. So I think it was heavily appreciated, and that's something that I took out of it and I liked.
Okay. Oh yeah, I think one thing to look at with this, and for people that are saying there's no substance to the movie, if you really just look at the whole gist of it, it was two characters that basically can't die, or normally can't die, willing to lay their lives down to save their universe, even though they kind of can't die. But it's like they're like, look, man, yeah, even if we get wiped out, antimatter or whatever, we're gonna do this and get it done. So I liked that aspect of it. Obviously, if they want to bring them back, if the contracts work out, Secret Wars is always a window and a door to get those two characters into the the finale, or whatever, however you want to look at it, or bring them in proper. There's a lot of potential, and obviously we'll talk more about the RDJ thing later, but we're back at that moment where we don't know what's about to happen next, and I'm perfectly excited about that, because there's no way to predict, okay, where are they going from here?
No way to predict that.
Yeah, only movie that we know is coming up right away is Captain America. That's it. We know Thunderbolts at some point, but it's like Captain America. That's months and months away.
Yeah, we're pretty sure that Thunderbolts is also next year. Probably, maybe even that might be their May movie release, if not later. We'll see. But but yeah, to your point, I think the level of excitement for the MCU this movie coupled with a stupendous Captain America Brave New World trailer, and the RDJ announcement has really reinvigorated a lot of enthusiasm for the MCU. I don't necessarily hear a lot of the naysayers saying, oh, the MCU's dead, it'll never come back. And I don't really hear a lot of that talk. At least I haven't, in the past 3 or 4 weeks since that Captain America trailer came out.
No, which you hit some of them grifter channels after.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
After the RZJ announcement, oh yeah, they're out of ideas. Marvel's dead. Like, shut up. Like,
yeah, man.
Just stop.
I ignore the grifters.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's annoying. It's annoying. But anyway, back to I know we're talking about the cameos. Obviously, as Simon says, didn't want to say it, but damn it, I'll say it. The fucking Wolverine was amazing. That was amazing.
Yep.
Amazing.
All of those were good, man. The screen accurate one to let you see just how ridiculous it would be if he was 5'3" amongst all these other tall people. And again, that's what the character is, but Hugh Jackman works for it very well, and as we've seen, Wolverine would be an interesting replacement if that's where they want to go.
Yeah, man, because it's like, okay, you see the guy, and he's got all the gravitas of a gruff, cigar-chomping motorcycle. I mean, dude, he had the wife beater on and everything. It was greatness. It was absolute greatness. And I know it was kind of like a dig at DC and Warner Brothers for letting this man walk out the door. I didn't necessarily see it that way. I just thought it was a really cool thing, because I know some people were saying that if he should come over and play Wolverine after he initially got fired or was said to not be coming back at DC, people were saying, oh, well, he'd come over and be Hyperion in the MCU, or maybe be the MCU's Wolverine. I thought it was a nice nod to that. Speaking of nice nods, bravo to Mr. Channing Tatum for his turn as a Raging Cajun. Holy shit, bro. Holy shit, bro. That was great. That was great. Lena.
Meow Yin.
Meow Yin, she is here.
Hello. Long time no hear.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds has a uncanny ability to get a lot of stuff done. I'm just gonna say it that way. I think it's honestly between him and Hugh Jackman. I think they're just relationships across Hollywood is why a lot of those, and of course money. Let's be real. But a lot of the reasons I think a lot of those cameos were able to happen was just they got pulled like that, man.
Yeah.
Well, the mouse waved that cash.
Oh no,
around.
absolutely.
Well, I'm sure that
Yeah.
helped. Yes, but
Yeah.
but Ryan Reynolds definitely opened that door because if you
Back
listen
up
to
the
what
Brinks truck.
Well, yeah, but if you listen to what Wesley Snipes said in his absolutely theater pop, like one of the biggest pops of the night was seeing Wesley walk in as Blade. That shit was that
was completely unexpected. It was
Yes.
and it proved that even though they may have gave a little bit in those trailers, I remember your reaction when you saw X-23.
I'm still mad. I'm still mad.
Look, I can't be mad. First off, that's not gonna hurt me, but there was so much that we didn't know. We didn't expect Gambit. We didn't expect friggin' Blade, Elektra. It was just like they did a good job.
Yeah, the only one they gave away for me was Sabretooth, but that was just because that was in one of I think the second trailer or whatever. Yeah. It was cool. And that moment was what it was, and I thought that was all right or whatever. But
that was my one complaint about the whole thing.
Oh, he went out too fast.
So he showed up and then went away. And I've waited for a very long time to see this much of an accurate Wolverine.
Time out. I want to say something. Look, listen.
I'm upset.
Listen. I'm sorry to interrupt. I don't mean to interrupt. So I'm being a little Kanye West right now, but people have short memories because me and Mr. GQ there watched today. Now I know what's about to come out your mouth soon. I say the name of this movie, but we watched it today, and though it was not rated R, you saw Wolverine and Sabretooth getting into it. They were stabbing each other, picking up each other, throwing each other through walls. It was a fight. It was called X-Men Origins Wolverine. And they were getting at it. Now, if it was rated R, you would have saw blood, and you probably saw more because they had their healing abilities. Now, mind you, I sat back and watched this movie, and I took a different view at it. The things that were disappointing was Deadpool. That's over there. Over there. Movie came out in 2009, and it had a 2009 style of action movie because that's how it was. It was action. They put in stuff that people expected from comic books, like being able to jump real high and doing fucking ludicrous shit. But besides, to me, Gambit and Deadpool, it's not as bad as everybody's saying.
Yeah.
You got a really bad Deadpool.
Yeah. Plus real quick, real quick. The other thing is that fight with him and Sabretooth and Deadpool is a direct callback to that X-Men Origins Wolverine movie. Because he straight up said, "Do you even know how to kill me?" And he's like, "I'm going to cut your damn head off and see if that works." That's exactly what he did.
Yeah.
So it's pulling it back. Go ahead, Simon. I'm sorry.
I was actually digging the whole because I heard that what was it Ladypool and that little kid was his son and Blake Lively.
Yeah,
so that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
that was pretty.
So
that was pretty dope.
Lady Deadpool. I mean, that was the most obvious. That was the most obvious thing ever. Even in the trailer, you could tell. Oh, that's Blake Lively. You could. It was the silhouette of her body. You could just tell it was her. Like, never mind that. Why would you think he would let anybody other than his wife play Lady Deadpool?
Yeah, that's what I thought too. They never put like Gwenpool in there, which is kind of strange. That would have interesting.
That's walking into that Sony area. Yeah. And that's trying to get Sony to okay that. It's easy to be like, look, hey, honey, come put an outfit on and work for a day.
Yeah, do this thing and bring the kids with you. Baby,
yeah, basically.
Kid pool. Bring them both.
Absolutely.
Bring them both. So
and you slipping.
Yeah, you slipping, girl.
She's like, I got babies.
She's a loving mother. So she's a loving mother of two. So
they can go see it. They won't remember seeing it.
Hire a babysitter.
Love it. Love it.
You gotta say, I'm gonna be out for just a few. I'm gonna go see a movie.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I hope you and Captain America get to go see that at some point soon.
Absolutely.
But no, so getting back to the story, I know people were saying that the plot of this movie was weak. I never felt that way because throughout, if you can ignore all the jokes and stuff like that, the thing was about Deadpool was seeking for his purpose, right? He wanted to make a difference. He wanted to matter. And yes, I thought him. Did they explain how him jumping to meet with Happy Hogan to join the Avengers, was that on his world? Like, I wasn't clear about that. So. Was that on his world? Or was that on our world?
I think he went to 616 because it said 616, and then it said
okay, but how did
later.
he do that? But how did he do that?
Because he had fucking cables. What you call it? It's more than just time and space.
But that's a timepiece, right?
Yeah, it's a
time and
timepiece.
space, dude. Time is space. When you move through space, you move through time. So maybe that comic book science fiction. Who gives a shit? You can't explain.
Yeah, I'm not trying to focus on exactly how he got there. I just thought, he was establishing in there when he was talking to Happy in Happy's office, which was clearly before Tony had died.
Yeah.
Right. But he was just saying how I need to be on the Avengers because I want to make a difference. I've got a girl. I don't want to mess this up. She sees me being in depression. I need to make a difference. But then finding out that Paradox wanted to wipe out his whole world. Now the difference that he made, all that mattered to him was saving his family. Essentially, he wanted never mind his world. He wanted to save his family.
If you want to put it into perspective, what time that was that he met up with Happy, it's legitimately right after Spider-Man: Homecoming, because that's right when they moved to the new facility, like right after Stark Tower or Avengers Tower was sold, and they moved to the new facility in upstate New York. So that was that particular time frame.
I loved all the little Iron Man Easter egg nuggets that were
absolutely
in Happy's office. That was some really good stuff. But it, juxtapose that with this Wolverine that, kind of had completely messed up and, basically turned his back on his X-Men friends.
I thought they were going to do the Old Man Logan bit where he actually killed everybody, but they spin that around.
I kind of thought that too in a way. Yeah, I kind of thought that too in a little bit.
I think having him do the straight up Old Man Logan where he killed everybody would be almost irredeemable at that point of like, yeah, you can come back from this, but it's like, it's not. Yes, you would probably have the same type of trauma, like that you killed all your friends. However, if that was his story, like you'd be kind of looking at him like, do you really get it to redeem yourself after that? Versus you abandon everybody. That's a little bit different. But I wouldn't have killed everybody while they were sleeping or something. But I don't know.
And honestly, and the plot to continue is basically it was about them essentially trying to find their purpose, both Wolverine and Deadpool. At least, excuse me, this Wolverine and Deadpool were trying to find their purpose in life, and basically is their value in them. Now that their world is kind of like nearing its end and all this other kind of stuff, which somebody had posted a theory that Deadpool's, and it was really a story also about who gets to tell the story of these characters that are essentially just being thrown away, right? What redeeming value do they have outside of the normal Marvel universe? Because does anybody outside of the normal Marvel universe matter? And the answer is yes in this thing, and that's what this kind of proved. The appearance of Johnny, the appearance of Cassandra Nova, Blade, Elektra, concepts that were essentially thrown away. Right?
Gambit, which never got off the
Gambit,
ground.
which never got off the ground. Right? Exactly. These are all concepts and characters that were essentially thrown away into the trash heap. And everybody's saying, well, the only ones that really count and really matter are the main MCU characters. That's not necessarily true. So, I just thought, as a plot, I thought that was really interesting. Preem is right, not you, Craven. They keep that.
You, Craven.
Not you, Craven. Not you, Madam Web. Yes, I agree with all of that. Y'all don't count. Yeah, I agree with that. I digress. Anyway, but
absolutely.
I thought that the movie did a fantastic job. I think I can't wait to go see it again. What was you guys' favorite part in the movie? I know it's gonna be tough, but what was your favorite part of the movie?
Mine was the Blade part.
Back yet. No,
Marcus A. not safe to come back yet. Hopefully he's watching it on mute.
Yeah.
My man Pac is in the chat. Flame On was his favorite part. Okay, that part was funny. That part was good. what else was so? I'm Rob. What was your favorite part in the movie?
It's between two fight scenes, and it's the one with Blade Electric and Gambit, or the final stretch when they went through the bus and the everything. That was one of the most well choreographed things I think I'd ever seen in my life. There was so much blood. It was so good.
What you think? What was your favorite part?
Just seeing Blade just show up out of nowhere. That was my favorite part.
Okay,
that was pretty cool.
All right, Dido, what was yours?
The whole fucking movie. I mean, like you got look, listen, I can break
your
down
contrarian
stuff.
ways. Can you just answer the question?
It's not contrarian. I enjoyed the whole fucking movie. Like how Chris Green there says you got to see Wolverine fight, even though he might have missed it. You got to see him really fight in the non-rated R movie where he was stabbing motherfuckers just because he was fighting another person who could heal.
Yeah, X-Men 2.
You could see that stuff. Regardless of that, I enjoyed the quips. I enjoyed the fighting. I enjoyed the freaking cameos. I like, Blade showing up was like, holy crap! I can't believe they got freaking Blade. Though his dude, they had to do something about his dude. I think.
Did you enjoy how many times they patted Deadpool's crotch in the fitting of the suit?
That was fucking hilarious. That was hilarious.
Yes. So wiping his ass many times.
To say that, to pick one scene out of the whole entire movie to be like, oh, I enjoyed that scene. I mean, if you want me to say that, Peter. I mean, I could be you guys, Peter.
I mean, I liked all the nods to all the different, because he, again, the whole the slap in the butt thing was a straight up parody of the Dark Knight. I'm sorry, not Dark Knight, the Batman and Robin suit, Batman and Robin suit up scenes and whatnot. Like he hit all of the funny jokes, all of the. It's like if you know moments. It was just really, really well done all the way through. I'm with Amarak on that bus one shot. I need to see that again so I can see all the little details and little crazy stuff that was happening in the background that you probably missed on the first go round. So when this comes out on 4K, this is an insta buy. This isn't. This isn't even a question. As soon as Amazon's like, yeah, you can pre-order this. Yeah, I'm going to pre-order that. Immediately.
Yeah, I'm gonna be buying.
Hopefully they have the trilogy on 4K. That'd be cool.
Aren't the other ones already out on 4K? Or are they just
probably? I don't have them.
I have all of them on 4K, including Once Upon a Deadpool.
Okay, all right.
So was never released in 4K, unfortunately.
Before we read what some of the people's comments across all of social media because we're broadcasting on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick and Facebook. Before we read theirs, let me give you mine because I'm shocked that nobody said this one moment was their favorite moment.
I did.
When Logan pulled the mask over his face, that was the best.
I said that.
But you didn't say that.
I said it.
Iguana Man said it right there in the chat. So
yeah, when he pulled the mask over his face, that was it for me. That did it all because we finally got to see Wolverine as Wolverine wearing masks.
Yeah.
No making excuses for not doing it or all this. The tease from the Wolverine at the end with the brown and yellow suit was finally given to us.
It was a damn deleted scene too.
Yeah, it was a deleted scene. Like, come on. They teased us for forever and they finally gave it to us. All right, so out of the chat.
And I like the fact that they didn't spoil that in any of the trailers. You knew it was coming. You knew it was coming, but it was such a cool moment to just see it happen. Boom. Yes, here we go. So I thought that was cool.
All right, so GQ, pull some of the best ones that you see out of the chat. People are saying their best moments are.
Okay, hold on. Kaiju. It's in the exact same spot where Cap's mask is at. It's just like a hood. It's like having a hood.
Yeah.
You literally just grab it.
But how do you? But you never see it when his back is turned. I think that's what he's trying to say. He pulled that shit out of Hammer Space.
you ain't never wore a hoodie where you just got the hood just kind of
rolled
down.
Yeah, you ain't rolling up the folds on his face. Like, come on, what? You ain't rolling that up.
His two Batmen facing each other wasn't as huge and giant as it is in the comics.
But it looked solid.
Okay.
Because I was trying to figure out if they made the mask out of a metal or metal look-alike. I didn't know that was steel plating on his face.
It was rubberized. It was
right.
rubberized. Probably had a little bit of CG, help just to make it,
No.
make it look amazing. All right, so let's pull a couple more. Hold on.
Yeah, pull a couple. Yeah, pull a couple more.
Chris Green
Yes.
over there talking about you got to see Wolverine finally at 5'3".
Yeah, nobody better say that ever again.
Yeah,
Right.
and I'm like, oh yeah, because he looks stupid.
Yeah,
on
it looks terrible.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Let's see. Blade saying he will be the one and only Blade.
Yeah.
He said made the director quit. That's funny. Let's see.
Motherfuckers always trying to upscale
Dan
people.
Simons.
Yeah,
That was a good one. That was a good one.
I say that. I've been saying that for years.
Oh yeah, Dan Simmons. When I realized that was let's see. It wasn't set up the Fox characters, but to give them their warm respect. Yeah, absolutely. That was definitely one of the things that was really, and like I said, Ryan Reynolds. People give him all sorts of crap about various things. Man is really good at what he does, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's really good at what he does. He's a great comedian and all of that, great improv and all that. But when it comes to paying attention to detail, man does this thing. Look at that movie he did, Free Guy. There was so many on point game references in that movie. It was just like you couldn't be mad at it. The movie was good. So I appreciate like what he does. So
yeah, this is the same guy that we essentially dismissed as an actor because he did Van Wilder, all those,
Look, I love Van Wilder. I got that in my movie collection.
Right. But I'm just saying, like he was kind of typecast as that, not an entertaining actor. He was just kind of like funny, just
not really real action.
He was just another guy. Yeah, he was just another guy.
He's a funny pretty boy.
Yeah, not really exactly. That was it.
Can't do action movies.
Dude, we didn't even talk about fucking the handsome pool. How they fucked him over because he never got his regeneration powers because he never did what you call it.
That was funny as hell.
You don't regenerate.
You're gonna be all right, dude. You're gonna be all right.
And he just blew his head. Oh, but that part when he blew his head off, that was fucked up.
It was so well done.
A couple more things. I saw one in the chat that I kind of wanted to highlight as well. Do you see it? Let's see. Go back. This is it from Fallen Marvel. The scene where Logan reads Deadpool for filth in the Honda Odyssey, and it turns into a bloody suckfest. That speech, that delivery by Hugh Jackman in that car, dog, you could tell Deadpool was devastated when he was saying that shit. Like, it just for him, like he's like, you ain't got nothing to say now, mouth. I was like, damn, he shut him all the way up.
Yeah, and again, that goes back to for people that are like, oh, it's just jokes. It's like, bro, Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds did their thing. If you just sat there and paid attention, but you got people that's rolling their eyes at every joke or this is getting too silly. It's like, sit there and watch it. You know what you signed up for.
Exactly.
It's like, come on.
People kill me with. Like, there's only a certain level of jokes or a certain level of cameos that are allowed that will say a movie is good or bad. No, dude, just watch the whole thing. Just watch it and absorb it and sit with it. It's like people are so quick to dismiss and try and say what is and what isn't a good movie just based off of a specific formula or criteria of it can have only like 10% cameo, 25% jokes, and 65% action, and maybe 5% exposition and talk, and that's all that's allowed. Like that's amazing to me.
I honestly just kind of thought Deadpool and this character entirely were kind of created to be that, just to be something that can float around and not really have any like 100% like ties to any story, which no plot, but like I thought that was his purpose, was just like the comedic relief that could be anywhere at any given time. Which
is his comic books not like that? Is his comic books not? I mean, if he's called the Merc with the Mouth, and that started in the comic books, are his comic books filled of such deep and rich plots where his importance in the story is mind blowing in game stuff, or is his comics like this movie?
No, he's pure comedic relief. Like he he kills people, and he's gory, but that motherfucker is never serious ever. Well, he's never serious.
That one time when he first appeared, he was.
Yeah, but that was it. That was before they had really fully established his character. Yeah. Like he was that cool looking character that Liefeld had, who was mysterious. And honestly, he didn't talk a lot in his first appearances in X-Force. He didn't talk a lot at all. He was that silent yes, he was a straight up assassin and just a killer. He didn't talk.
He was a ripoff,
which made him look cool.
Wade Wilson.
And he had funny looking feet.
Well, look, you
shout out to Liefield's feet.
Yeah, I saw that too. That shit was funny as hell.
Hand to say he's not a clown. Most of his stories are about how he uses humor to cover up his deep pain, and I see that in the movies too. He's using tons of humor to cover up fucking pain. And I'm gonna be the bad guy here, but that's how I saw Thor. Unfortunately, I get they say Thor, that's not his character, whatever, but I saw him using a lot of humor to cover up losing his dad, losing his mom, losing his people, losing the fight, losing his,
losing Loki.
Yeah, losing Loki. So
yes and no. Like, yes, you can see that definitely in Endgame, right? When he was Fat Thor, right?
Yeah.
You can see that in Endgame. But I think Love and Thunder is a totally different deal.
He was still in pain in Love and Thunder.
But as you already alluded to many times, that story was being told through the lens of Korg, not necessarily
also, and he probably put a lot of stuff onto that because
that's what I mean.
However,
was Thor crying?
Why was Thor crying? Exactly.
Well, that we'll figure out at some point later on down the line. But going back real quick to Dido's point about Love and Thunder, he was still dealing with the depression and grief, and it just got worse when he found out that Jane was dying.
Yeah.
So Thor has been through it more than most of the characters of any of the major MCU characters. So
yeah, he's lost a lot. Like literally, he's kind of lost everything. If you really think about it.
Hold on, Takeem. We're actually about to wrap up, so just to let you know, we're
wrapping
up this part.
Yeah, we're wrapping up this part of the Deadpool Wolverine conversation. To wrap it up, I want to get everybody's rating. 5 people on the panel. Everybody out there in the chat, you guys can do that too. Big Pack, he already gave his. He said it was a solid B for him. If we rated 1 through 5. What would you guys give Deadpool and Wolverine?
1 through 5, 4.5.
1.5. Yeah,
4.5. 4.5. Simon?
5.
Yeah, I'm also at 5. I'll give it a 5 because the amount of the sheer amount of work and effort and layers to this movie, whether people want to realize it or admit it or not. The movie was good all the way through.
I gotta give it a 5.
I just can't give it a perfect movie. There were a couple of things that and this is with everybody. I wish they would have done a little different, but everything that I got was nice. Just a little bit.
Yeah, I can't say there was. The only reason I give it a 5 is because there's nothing that I disliked about the movie. There's nothing that bothered me in it.
You know what bothered me?
All that matters.
You know what bothered me? I can't get that damn bye song stuck out of my head. So half a point for that. Can't get out of my head.
He said half a point for making me relive in sync.
Yeah, over and over again.
They did something with this movie where I didn't think it would ever be something that I would be witness and notice. Usually there's credits and then there's after credits. Like a certain person who was at the movie theater with me had to go to the bathroom after the movie. So she was like, I'm going by the credits happen and I'll be back by the end credits. She missed almost everything that happened during the credits. And I was like,
all that behind the scenes.
And all that
behind the scenes. That was, man. And somebody had said it earlier in the chat. I forgot exactly who. I apologize. Notice there was no New Mutants behind the scenes.
That was Swallow Marble who said that. That was Swallow Marble who said that. Yeah. Yes. Literally everything but New Mutants got a nice little send-off from that Fox movie montage at the end. Which I guess they can be forgiven because the only really redeemable thing out of that film was Anya Taylor-Joy's Ileana anyway, so I'm good. So that after credit scene, by the way, Amazing, amazing. When you that it and for those of you that haven't seen the movie, it's a great discussion. Great discussion. It was great.
Oh, yeah.
I love
Every
seeing
time
that.
he opens his mouth to say something like that, I always forget that he was in things like Not Another Teen Movie, where this was like just the way it was. So it still sounds natural.
He's been so
funny.
wholesome for like the last 10 years of stuff we've seen him in, from at least the Marvel side. That was
he
just
needed
like
that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He was, he got a little bit of a preview of it in Free Guy, but that was it.
This seemed therapeutic.
Yep. And to answer Hannah Omega's question before we pass it off, was there anything from Dark Phoenix? No, there wasn't anything from Dark Phoenix, but you didn't necessarily have to acknowledge Dark Phoenix because they acknowledged the other Fox Marvel stuff with McAvoy and Fassbender and that cast. You didn't have to touch Dark Phoenix. They acknowledged that they existed and they were giving them their send off. So moving right along, obviously the other news was the absolutely seismic destruction of Hall H that happened on Saturday night when it was announced that Robert Downey Jr. is going to be cast as Victor Von Doom. Now, there's been a lot of controversy surrounding this thing about people being upset that Robert Downey Jr. was asked to come back as Doom, or asked to come back to the MCU and to be cast as Doom and not as Tony Stark. And people are also upset that it's not the authentic Romani, Doom that's going to be a part of the Fantastic Four. There's a lot of unknowns, but let's address, what do you guys think of the casting of Robert Downey Jr. as Victor Von Doom?
Well,
I'm fine with it. Oh, go ahead, Dodo.
I'm sorry. I see it both ways because that's how I am. Personally, most commoners don't know that Tony Stark, we don't know if he's actually going to be Tony Stark as Doom or Victor Von Doom, and he's just played by Robert Downey Jr. Now, if it's Victor Von Doom played by Robert Downey Jr., I personally don't have any problems with it at all. If they're trying to do a Tony Stark variant of Doom, I feel like they should not do that, but doesn't mean I'm not probably going to enjoy whatever I'm going to see. I kind of think that like the character should get his own. It's kind of like the recasting of T'Challa. Like, I think they should have recast T'Challa. I don't think they should have killed the character.
Amen.
Because I think that was a slap in the face to me, to Chadwick Boseman, to say, you know what, this character, anymore. And I know I can see why people think it's an homage or whatever to not keep the character going. But regardless of that, I do think that if Robert Downey Jr. is going to be RVD, it's kind of going to confuse the layman out there. It may not confuse, other people, but they're going to be like, wasn't he Tony Stark? And blah, blah, blah. I mean, they had a whole chance to do something with that character. Ooh, health.
Sorry.
As I was seeing somebody on the internet basically saying is like, comic books, if you fuck up in a comic book, if you have an idea and you go forth with the idea and it's not a good idea, it's really easy for them to wipe that away and start anew, because they have done that countless times in comic books.
Countless times.
Yeah, but it's different in movies. If you do something that, the vast majority people don't like, you're not really wiping that away. I don't know what's going to happen. I can't say anything about it. I do think they should have just did a new character, grabbed Cillian Murphy or somebody that could have been a good actor to be Victor Von Doom. But then again, we don't know what they have planned, and I'm going to take back and wait and see what's going on.
Next, who wants to comment next? Don't everybody jump up at once.
I mean, I honestly, this is one of those I'm gonna sit back and watch what happens type deals. I don't know how to even go about it.
Which is a measured response to have, a measured and reasonable response.
Yeah, this is one of those. I'm gonna watch the show this time. Like, I think we're in a spot with a lot of the things where we can actually gotta sit back and watch and see what's happening versus putting so much violent speculation to things. I don't know, and I like it.
I'm just gonna sit back and watch the world burn.
Okay.
No, and then absolutely. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say also what they should have did was they should have called up Hugo Weaving and say, "Hey man, you want to play Victor Von Doom?"
Oh, please.
I know he wasn't gonna do it. I'm just
He
saying.
hated playing Risk, or he probably would have hated playing Doom too. He would have probably been an interesting Doom.
He
but
would have been an awesome Doom too.
Though.
Hell, he was an awesome Risk.
I haven't really seen him in anything lately though, to be honest. So I don't know.
In the last movie I think he was in was that Mortal Engine, I think.
Oh, that was terrible.
Mortal Engine.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that movie was terrible. Not his fault. Not his fault. That movie was terrible. But as far as this goes, like I'm gonna look at it this way, and Preem and I have had this discussion a couple times actually. The Russo brothers are responsible for some of the most profitable movies in the MCU to date: Winter Soldier, Civil War, Avengers Endgame, Avengers Infinity War. They by themselves are worth at least $6 billion of box office for just 4 movies that they've done. They're about to do 2 more movies with probably the most ridiculous budget we've ever seen as a playground. They got the I'm just gonna sit back and let them cook, as people say, because to sit there and the MCU is out of ideas, it's like, shut up. Y'all don't even know what the hell they have planned for any of these movies. Ancient One said it best. You are a man or woman trying to peer at the universe through a keyhole. You have zero idea what's coming up next, regardless of what's in the books. Dude, they use the books when they want to. So we don't know what they're about to do. I'm about to sit back and enjoy it, whatever it is. I'm not about to sit there and piss and moan and bitch and cry about it. You know, it's like we don't know what they're about to do. People can make videos about it till the cows come home. As soon as y'all are wrong, y'all ain't gonna make no apology videos. You're just gonna keep going.
They'll just grift off of them not doing what they wanted. Right. That's all.
They brought back the most successful actor they've ever had for this franchise.
Yes.
They got a good idea of what they want to do.
Right.
Let them do
it. Now, it should be stated that for many theories are out there that Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom isn't going to be the main MCU Doom, very much like John Krasinski's Reed Richards was not the main MCU Reed Richards, right?
Right.
It is a Doom. It is not the Doom. So the theory out there is that because he is confirmed to be in the 2 Avengers movies, the renamed Kang Dynasty, which is now Avengers Doomsday, which is going to be him, and co-starring the Fantastic Four, he will also be in Avengers Secret Wars. Now, it's also been confirmed that his Doom will be appearing in the post-credit scenes of Fantastic Four. At least that's the rumor.
Okay.
So
I'll be there for it.
I'll be there for that as well.
Like
right.
A panic cast or anything.
This what?
Because we don't think this was like a panic cast because of all the stuff that was going on.
No. And I'll bring this up because I wanted to get to this other part, right? So Jeff Snyder, who is, I don't know if you guys know, he is a very well-respected movie insider. He's been doing this, for 2 decades. He's very well connected. He's known about this since back in March. Like, we're talking almost 6 months ago. He got a scoop from someone at Marvel that
who probably doesn't work there anymore.
Who may not work there anymore, right? Because he said he got a scoop from someone, someone that was in the know, that Robert Downey Jr. was going to be coming back and he's going to be cast as Doom. Now, this isn't the first time those rumors came out. John Campea had been saying the same thing as well, that he had heard these rumors, but Jeff Snyder is the guy that actually really has the connects. Now, he confronted Marvel about this, and of course, they did their PR spin. They denied it. He has to take them at their word because they denied it. But really what it was is that they were haggling over Robert Downey Jr.'s price tag, but he was also saying that he did not want to come back unless the Russos were coming back. Now that when the Russos signed, he signed. As soon as they were on board, he was on board. So that's where this whole thing kind of shook out. Now, here's one last thing I kind of wanted to bring up with Jeff Snyder, particularly in his latest newsletter. He brought up something that I want to put out there for everybody in the Culture Junkie Nation. If you haven't been on our Facebook group, come and join us over at facebook.com/groups/Culture Junkies and join the group. A lot of really good discussion goes on in there. And it's one of the last probably politics pejorative free places that you'll find on the internet. We really kind of keep a tight leash on that kind of stuff. But Jeff Snyder said, and I quote, "See, the Stark or Doom argument is where this stuff becomes exhausting and starts to turn off the average viewer who can't keep up with this stuff. Marvel's brain trust could really use someone who doesn't actually care about the larger MCU and just wants to help Marvel tell one good story at a time. I'm not saying that they should always listen to that voice in the room, as what they're doing has obviously been working. But that voice should still be in the room regardless, that someone pushes back on some of the incredibly dumb stuff that exists for no reason in the MCU. Now, do you guys think he somewhat has a point in that Marvel should have a guy that is more of a layman and is only interested in telling a good story and isn't worried about a larger MCU narrative in the room as they're planning discussions? What do you guys think? Amarak is of two minds on this. It looks like it. He's really thinking about it. Go ahead. What do you think?
I mean, it seems like this has been a plan on multiple projects. Star Wars, just to bring it up, bringing in people who have absolutely no idea what's happening and mixing them in a room with people who have every idea of what's happening, yet coming out with something that brings up that much controversy and things. It's just a toss up. I have no idea.
Yeah,
so you have no idea whether it's a good idea or not.
Yeah, there's no telling at this point, because out of everything that we've gotten over the years span, I'm pretty sure this isn't the first time consults comes from literally every reach of the universe for.
I think what Jeff is, and I'm trying to read into what he's trying to say here, just to give it a little bit of extra layer of information. Jeff is essentially alluding to how now there is a 15-year prerequisite for a lot of people to jump in, and where the MCU is starting to approach a very high bar threshold for an entry point for a casual viewer that might want to jump on and may not want to jump all the way back to 15 years ago when Iron Man 1 came out. They just kind of want to pick up on somewhere new without a lot of the baggage. What do you guys say to that?
You know, that makes a lot of sense to me, because the reason why I don't read comic books is because it's too much legacy, and I don't know where to start, don't know what to do. It's just every story can be different. You want to read a Wolverine comic, and I got to go find number one to actually, blah, blah, blah. And I could see that. In movies, you don't really want to do that. And I get wanting to have some kind of continuity, but they did that. We don't necessarily have to continue doing that. They could come out with movies like, okay, you can do it both. You can have movies that have nothing to do with the MCU. What I mean is not really attached to anything. It's its own movie. It's telling its story. It has its beginning, the middle, end. You can do sequels based off of it for that just specific movie. And then you can have sprinkle in some of those ones that, go back that far. But, I never thought about that before, because I've been there from the beginning. And I don't think about the people who haven't been there from the beginning. And if they want to go for the beginning, I mean, personally, it is a little bit different than comic books, because it's kind of hard to know where to start in the beginning. Disney Plus tells you where to start, and all of it's there. So
it does, but for the layman, that level of entry may be daunting.
And it may be daunting. There's different types of layman. There's people who like movies and are layman, and there's people who watch a movie on an airplane who's a layman. And those, the latter, I think, are the ones that really don't care. Most of them don't really give a shit. but there are other people out here who will, that may invest. But I think it's a good idea to not always stick to what was done 15 years ago, because that could get a lot of people lost.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's a lot of people that were there from the beginning.
I think one kind of way to look at it is you can have that layman in there to ask the questions that need to be asked, that maybe a person that's been dyed in the wool with it for the last 15, actually more than 15, because anybody, as Iron Man wasn't made and released in 2008. It was probably started on in 2006. So they've been at it for 17 years. So I get that if you've been on something for 17 years and you've had this whole big roadmap laid out, you're going to overlook some of those little small details that like Dido was saying, the average person that hasn't been there since the beginning is not going to understand, overlook. It's great to have somebody to be there to bring that up. But at the same time, I don't want them to suddenly, because this is what DC is, and we haven't seen any of James Gunn stuff yet, but this is what DC's kind of suffering from, in the sense that they're going to have this big continuity, but they're also going to have these little side project movies that are going to be sprinkled in. And it's like, hold on now. Do these other movies how do I know if they matter or not? Do you know what I'm saying?
It's kind of the Deadpool Wolverine conversation that we just had, where
I don't
what
mind
stories
having
count,
overall,
which ones don't.
Yeah, I don't mind having an overarching huge universe that, and again, we're being just selfish because we were there from the beginning.
Yes.
I kind of look at it as like, yeah, I'm sorry you were born later, but you just got some homework to do. and that, again, that's a very selfish take.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, just from my, again, we all grew up with Star Wars. There's some of us didn't see the originals in theaters. I only saw Empire Strikes Back forward in theaters, but obviously I've seen Star Wars, A New Hope a million times or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, there were some people that were born for the prequels. Yeah. They still went back and watched the originals. They have their opinions on it or whatever, and that's fine. Yes, this is 30 some odd movies deep, but if you really want to know, and if this really interests you, like Dido said, Disney Plus just has one button. You can just watch it all in order.
That's true. And it's not like they haven't been playing on FX for like years, right? They absolutely have. What the hell is going on with my camera?
I don't know. Time to get a new one there, brother. I don't watch movies on
We
FX.
jinxed it. We jinxed it earlier.
Probably did.
He's been hijacked by the Fandarin.
That's weird.
Wow.
That would have been a perfect freaking like jump in for the fan in the
that would have been sick.
We don't care what you have to say.
Dude, if he would have showed up in that square, bro. That's your thumbnail for life.
That's weird.
Oh, he's back.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell. I don't know what the hell happened there.
The Fandarin comes back, man. We're all screwed. All right.
Okay, now hold on. Now here's somebody that has a different take on the Robert Downey Jr.
Paul Martin. How you doing, Paul?
Robert Downey Jr. as Doom is just stupid. Don't tell me that there were no other actors out there that could take up the role and do a good job. Here's the issue, Paul. We don't know what the whole thing is. We got till 2026 to find out exactly what their plan is. So I'm gonna sit back and wait.
Now, I wanted to bring up something like, so Super Nerd Plus is also, was also talking out of YouTube, jumping over to YouTube. He says, so is he saying he doesn't want connecting stories or world building? I don't think that's what he's saying at all. I think what he's trying to say is that the narratives in some of these movies, because they're trying to be so concerned with connecting to the larger MCU, that it's leaving other people behind. Like, how can you jump into Thor, the latest Thor movie, because you don't know what happened to him prior, right? How could you jump into like the Captain America, the Brave New World is a perfect example of this. A lot of people, are kind of familiar with Captain America being, Steve Rogers. Clearly, Sam Wilson ain't that. He's Captain America Sam Wilson. Okay, I'm jumping right in. Who's this president guy? Who's this Isaiah Bradley guy? Why does Captain America have wings? Who's this leader guy? I have no idea who he is. Why is the president hulking out and turning red? Like, okay, there's a lot of prerequisite information.
Do we know that the
that
president's
some
hulking up
people
turning red?
Yeah.
yeah, like
Already
literally
spoiled
you just want good stories, right? Everything is a King Takim is saying, I just want good stories. Everything is a pile of tropes and forced inclusion. In a way, yes, but he's just saying that we don't want to leave people behind. The laymen don't necessarily care about comic book accuracy or it happened in the comic books this way, narratively needs to follow this. They just want to have a good time and enjoy a film.
Mm.
And
Yeah, but
while I
if you
don't
come
necessarily
in,
go ahead.
if you
Go ahead.
enter on something like Love and Thunder, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not knowing anything that has happened, if you want to go backtracking, your mind is now that. Like they have branched off and did some different things with so many different properties that, like, even though it is congruent, it's different enough to throw you off to where you can still just watch everything out of order and still be able to pay attention to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's still a huge ass like investment though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a huge investment. Like I feel like the best example of what Jeff is saying and what he wants is Captain America: The Winter Soldier, where it was such a good standalone film and didn't really have much to do with the larger MCU narrative outside of
It started the larger MCU narrative though.
it started, yeah, I guess it kind of helped flip the larger MCU narrative on and Paul's right. Who wants to see Love and Thunder?
Me.
He's right. Who wants to see Love and Thunder? But no, I feel like, and that's why Captain America: The Winter Soldier stands the test of time as arguably the best MCU film ever, because you could just watch that and never have watched any other Marvel film at all and gotten a really good feel of what this whole hype is all about. What do you guys say to that?
I mean, it's true.
It depends. Because Winter Soldier has a lot of callbacks to other stuff in it. And again, if you're going to take it as a layman that doesn't know anything about anything, there's parts in there that need explanation, need understanding, and various things like that. And let's not forget that Winter Soldier is the only movie at the time that bridged the gap from TV Marvel to movie Marvel. Mm-hmm. So I'm of the mind of like, look, if you want to jump in the middle of something that's this storied, deep, and whatever, you might just have some homework to do. I'm sorry, that just might be the fact of life of like that you're 34, almost 34 some odd movies in, and if you jump in at movie 35 and they're doing big huge things that's been got callbacks here and there, left, right, center, I'm sorry, that just might be part of the thing of like you might have to go back and watch some other stuff.
I mean, you could definitely. I know of a person whose son went to go see it, and he may have seen the first two Deadpool movies, but I'm pretty sure he wasn't even alive for any of the Fox stuff. Yeah. So he had a good time with it. He watched the movie and he liked it. So
exactly,
you can watch a movie and like that movie as an individual thing, and if you are so inclined, you can go back and find out about the other stuff and watch the other stuff because it's not going anywhere. I mean, as far as
yeah. What Preem says, what I think people fail to realize is that every MCU movie from top to bottom has been about how each character processes grief and move forward toward finding their purpose in the world. Every MCU movie, even the first Guardians of the Galaxy, I don't know.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I guess so.
Guardians of the Galaxy was Peter's grief tour.
The first one? The very first one?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And then finally aged.
Yeah, and then Guardians 2
Thor
was
1?
like Guardians 2 was whatchamacallit was Gamora and Nebula's patchwork, and also still more Peter stuff because he met his biological father.
The first Thor?
First Thor is the hero's journey, straight up.
But that's not processing grief though, right?
Yeah, kind of. He lost his brother at the end of the film, as far as he knew, and he lost his world as far as he knew when he was exiled.
But it wasn't lost to him. You know what I mean? It was like
from his perspective, yes, it was. Because when Loki showed up and lied to him, was like, "Yo,
Dad's dead. You can't come back.
Dad's dead. Mom said you can't come back. Cut off."
Yeah,
that's from his perspective. That's all he knew.
Marcus 664, is it safe to come back now? Finally, no, it's not. It's not safe.
Bro,
It's not safe. I'm just kidding.
I'm
just kidding.
Knee deep in some old MCU.
Knee deep in the shit. Yeah, we need deep in the shit. Anyway, Paul actually had a follow-up question. He said, so then what do you guys think about Madam Web? Was that not a standalone, a bad one, albeit? I mean, sure, it was a standalone, and yes, it was a bad one.
That's Sonyverse, though.
We kind of don't acknowledge those exist.
It's not even about acknowledgement. The only Sony stuff that ties into the MCU is the Spider-Man stuff.
Correct.
And that's supposed to be a Spider-Man stuff, though. I didn't watch Madam Web, so I can't.
Dude, if you see it is hardly part of that Spider-Man verse that we all appreciate from the trilogy that Tom Holland has done.
Yeah.
So
I'm still tripping about the whole Vulture appearance in Morbius. Like what?
They was reaching further than Dawson with that one, dude.
Woo! Like what? What was that all about?
I'm like,
don't know what that was all about.
I'm like, first off, you got zapped into that universe. How the hell did you get your suit?
He got zapped,
man. Right?
The
exact same one.
Yeah, it was just weird. Like, I'm like, y'all are really trying.
Yeah.
Only one that actually kind of worked was Tom Hardy when Venom came across. That one kind of worked because he didn't interact with much. He just sitting there at the bar drinking.
Right.
I'm like, okay, cool. I hope that comes back.
Me too.
I hope that comes back in Secret Wars. Oh my God, if they do that. If they do straight up true black suit Spider-Man in Secret Wars,
that would be dope.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, they pull that off.
One can only hope.
I know this isn't necessarily the show for that, but I know Super Nerd Plus and I are of the same mind that Downey's appearance as Doom, because you can't do Secret Wars without Doom. None of them. You can't do the original Secret Wars without Doom, with him and the Beyonder. You can't do the most recent Secret Wars without Doom.
Oh yeah, we got with Emperor.
Thing.
With Emperor God Doom.
Emperor God Doom. You can't do it without Doom. Doom factors into those.
Hold on. I remember the original Secret Wars was Beyonder.
Yeah.
Does God Doom take his place in the new one?
Yes.
Yeah. Because
yes.
He literally becomes like
Because what he did is essentially Doom had grabbed all these disparate universes and tried to merge them into what's called Battle World.
Yeah, how he did it was he took all the Owen Reeses, detonated them, and killed the Beyonders, and then because the Beyond it was kind of a cool way how he did it, but he absorbed their power and became Emperor God Doom, and dude, he was the shit, man. I ain't gonna lie.
He was badass. I'll never forget Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet.
Oh yeah,
facing up against Emperor God Doom. This motherfucker literally punched
out.
Right into his body and ripped his spine out. That was hardcore.
All sorts of stuff.
He did
stuff they can do, dude.
Yeah, but just to show you, Ken, he did not have the Infinity Gauntlet because that was.
He didn't. I thought he did.
No, because he asked him that question and he said nope, and it's like okay, boom.
He knew at that point. It's like you ain't no match. I have nothing to worry about at this point.
I'm gonna punch you in the stomach and rip out your spine.
Exactly.
But essentially, after Secret Wars and after Downey's appearance as Doom, the resolution of that is going to be a soft rebooted MCU, which will have one prime sacred timeline, which will also have the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, and everybody else that wasn't part of that main timeline will now be in it. Because we know the Fantastic Four takes place on a different Earth. They're appearing in Doomsday and Secret Wars. to move them forward, they have to be in the main MCU. So, and that's really the only way it's going to happen. This
So
also could give them. Go ahead.
Oh no, real quick. I wonder if Loki is going to have any type of interaction.
I
with
wonder
this.
that too,
because he's still, Loki, the
god of stories.
God of stories, yeah. So we'll see how that goes.
I wonder that too. That would be amazing if Loki is able to be roped into this. That would be fantastic. So that's about it for our show today. Preem is like Preem is like DC's next movie, Crisis on Infinite Disappointments.
Wow. Han does bring up this Terminator anime real quick, so he's curious about that.
I mean, what's there to talk about? It hasn't come out. The trailer just came out today. It looks really good. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be fantastic, I think.
One could hope.
I think it's going to be pretty good. So, yeah. I mean, what else is there to talk about? So we look forward to that. Obviously, tomorrow is another Red Letter Day, August 1st. It is the release of Batman Cape Crusader, which I think by the votes in our Facebook group, it is our next watch party. The show doesn't come out till 11 o'clock p.m. and I know that might be kind of late for people. So maybe we might want to do the watch party on a Friday or a Saturday or something like that. I'll put something in the Facebook group chat. It'll be hosted in our Discord for you guys to come up. And we love everybody that is on this show to come and join the Discord and, and do the watch party with us. Because I think it was a really fun time when we did the Acolyte, and I think doing this for this Batman series, which is very eagerly anticipated, I think it will also be pretty fun. So,
all right,
Batman, maybe this will be done by then.
Oh, that looks pretty good.
That'll be awesome. Last quick throw in for the chat and for the panel.
Yes.
How much do y'all think the budget's gonna be on Secret Wars?
Shit.
They got a blank check.
I'm being straight up because Endgame, I thought Endgame broke the bank with the amount of actors and people they had. Secret Wars sounds like it's about to be Endgame to the 12th power.
Listen, when Robert Downey Jr. himself is making $50 million. $50
million? Who do you think you got? Chelsea Clinton?
$50 million. Yes, by himself. That's just for one guy. That's not counting all the other high-priced ones. I would wager to guess the budget for Secret Wars is probably going to approach
$2 billion,
400 million, 400 if not 500.
So the most expensive movie ever made.
The most expensive movie ever made, just based off of all the disparate parts they're going to have to bring together to make.
What holds that record right now?
Probably one of the Avatars.
The most expensive movie ever made. The most expensive movie.
Oh, hold on, no. I take it back. The Big Hit had that movie where my man sent all them golden standees to every theater. It was the most expensive movie ever made.
Right now, the most expensive film ever made right now, with a cost with adjusted for inflation, is Star Wars: The Force Awakens with $575 million.
The hell?
To make that movie?
To make that movie. Yes.
that sounds like some fake inflation, dude. Because that movie was not that long ago.
So the original cost, not adjusted for inflation, listed on Wikipedia. So obviously this take us with a grain of salt, I suppose. Is listed at $447 million.
No, dude, no. I understand that was a $1 billion movie, but there is no way that cost $400 million to make that movie.
No,
Disney's crazy, but they're not that crazy.
No, for them to pump out for at this point for something Avenger sized, kind of seems like a drop.
I mean, the most expensive Avengers movie isn't even Endgame, which I thought it would have been for sure. They said the most expensive Avengers movie was Age of Ultron at $365.
That's still
that's CG.
That's a lot, but that's got to be because of Ultron and his CG. And
Hulkbuster,
the Hulkbuster, the Hulk, yeah, actually, yeah, Yeah, all the Sokovia scenes. Yeah.
Josh Whedon was funneling money somewhere.
Somewhere.
I'm not
That's
saying
it,
that movie wasn't expensive or what shouldn't have been expensive, but that's a dude. That means Secret Wars. I don't know. We'll have to see. Unless the Russo brothers are just masters of negotiation and money hiding or whatever. I don't know.
You thought it was Avatar. Avatar: The Way of Water, which is the only one in the top 10. Avatar: The Way of Water was made for $350 million.
For that, and he couldn't get that movie out any sooner than that. What he had,
and that's after, right? That's after. Let me read you the list of movies that are in this top 10. After Indiana Jones and after Avatar is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny at 326. I can't believe that. Like I cannot believe that. That seems crazy.
No, there's definitely a lot of CG, especially at the beginning. But like
that seems crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the Indiana Jones movies are mostly practical shoots.
Not the new one.
Okay, taking out Harrison Ford's de-aging and Mads Mikkelsen's de-aging. Take those out. That's still, it seems ludicrous to say that was $326 million. That seems ludicrous to say that, right? So here's the list. At the most is 447 for Star Wars Force Awakens. Number 2 is Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I could totally buy that. Totally buy it. You know, totally. That's saying 432. Totally buy that.
Yeah, them damn dinosaurs.
Yeah, right. After that, the third most expensive movie is Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker at 416. I'm looking at GQ's face, and he is just astounded. That these Star Wars movies are
Hold on. Are these including marketing or this is straight up production?
I'm going to assume they're including marketing. You have to assume
that list needs to be redone then, because you can't. I understand, yes, that is part of the overall budget, but as far as just making the film, yes, you're gonna market the hell out of big, huge, features and whatnot. I need to know how much they spent on like camera, lights, CG, all of that.
Yeah,
because if you're adding in marketing, yes, the number is ridiculous.
416.
Yeah.
So we need to find a list that's just straight
now
marketing.
If you read the first paragraph of this Wikipedia entry, it says, due to the secret nature of Hollywood accounting, it is not clear which film is the most expensive ever made. Star Wars: The Force Awakens officially holds the record with a net budget. So they're saying that this is just the budget of these films, not the marketing too. That seems ludicrous.
That sounds like they don't really know and they're guessing.
Right.
I mean, 416 for The Rise of Skywalker. That's
that's a lot. That's a whole lot, right? So number 4 on this list, this is about to totally piss GQ off. Number 4. At $379 million, higher than any Avengers movie, is Fast 10.
It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Hey, I'm just passing along.
I mean, now granted, they did some crazy stuff. They rolled that flame ball down in Rio
down the Hoover Dam.
Right. Yeah, drove down the Hoover Dam. I mean, a lot of that was probably what's my man's name? You know what I'm talking about, the villain.
Jason Momoa.
Probably Jason. Yeah, a lot of that was probably his party budget. And
based on his character,
right. I don't know. I mean, again, I'm not seeing $379 million worth of. Again, some of that has to be marketing. There's no way that film, straight up budget wise. Now, granted, there's a lot of CG in it. We all know this.
But you're gonna spend more on that than an Avengers level movie.
So, right.
Yeah,
this
for
is
real.
what I'm saying. That's what makes it crazy, right? So number 5, tied at $379 million, is a movie that predates Fast 10 by 12 years. And that is a Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. Like, come on.
Yeah,
on.
I think, like I said, I think their numbers are skewed because of the inflation adjustment, and I'm almost positive. Now, Pirates movies are expensive. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But $379 for the last one they did, I could see maybe 2, but not straight up $379.
And isn't that one the last one or the third one?
No, Stranger Tides was the most recent one. That was the one.
Okay.
Javier Bardem was in it as
I thought
I'm sorry, no. That was Dead Men
that
Tell
was-
No Tales.
Yeah.
Stranger Tides. No. Oh,
Really?
hold on. Stranger Tides is the one with my man
Blackbeard.
Blackbeard.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was
Absolutely not.
Yeah,
There was nothing about Blackbeard was a cool character, but there was nothing
The
about
boat
that.
was
Yeah,
it's the boat, but that was about it.
I would think Dead Men Tell No Tales would cost more because
Yeah.
you had to CG his entire crew,
Uh-huh.
similar to how you had to CG his entire crew for Davy Jones' crew in a Dead Man's Chest.
Yeah.
So that list sounds suspect to me because, like you
Yeah.
said, is Wikipedia is somebody's educated guesses as to how much this costs.
Yeah.
And I don't know about that.
The Collider list that I just pulled up isn't much different. They're saying that The Force Awakens cost $533 million.
Oh, hell
half
no.
a billion.
I'm just like,
Okay,
yeah,
man.
like, come on, man. Like, I just don't, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't-
That sounds like, oh, this is probably what it costs, and then the marketing. It's like no. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't. I would love to, but like they said, Hollywood accounting is notoriously,
Oh, of course.
secretive.
I mean,
you know,
let
for-
Lucas
Those
tell it.
numbers.
Yeah, let Lucas tell it. Return of the Jedi still ain't made no money.
don't nobody buy that. Don't nobody buy that at all.
There you
Anyway, y'all, it's been a great, fun 90-minute conversation, but we need to get the hell on out of here. Let everybody go and enjoy their time off with their families, and I'm sure Amarak has got something to watch with the missus, don't you? Don't you?
Yes.
Don't you? What you got? Is it more wrestling? What you got?
Honestly, yeah, we got to get caught up from Monday's Raw. In all honesty.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're
All
watching SummerSlam on Saturday?
Yes.
Nice.
I don't know where, but
Oh.
yes.
LA Knight versus Jake Paul.
Yep. Logan Paul.
Jake Paul.
Logan Paul. Excuse
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Sorry, Logan Paul.
Hold on.
Give my
Speaking of-
pugilist stuff.
Speaking of, is he still fighting Tyson, or has that already been called off?
That's been postponed.
To November.
Why?
I think it was something Tyson came up with had some kind of injury or some kind of setback, and that's why it got pushed back.
Okay.
So
Whatever.
I'll still see it.
I'm sure we will too, but I mean,
Yeah.
we'll
That's-
see. You know, whatever.
Yeah, we'll see it. Anyway, y'all, we want to thank you all for joining us today. It was been a really great conversation. We enjoyed everybody being here. We thank you all for your ongoing support. Make sure you come back next week, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central, for another great episode of Culture Junkies Live. And actually, we'll be promoting going into the month of August our eventual return to live in-person shows. So no more of these remotes, 5-screen picture things. Is going to be me, GQ, Dido, and Simon Says all in a room together, chopping it up. It's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait to show you guys our set. We've worked really hard on it. It's really impressive. I know we're kind of like.
I mean,
patting
I'm
ourselves
still
on the back.
invited too, and as well as Fawn.
He is
And-
invited. You know,
and Mal Yin, you know.
yeah, you guys are invited. We would love. Actually, it would be dope as hell if he could drive up and join us on the couch for a show. But that might be kind of hard because seeing as how we do our shows on Wednesdays,
Yeah, middle of the week is a little bit rough.
middle week is gonna be a little tough for my man. It's gonna be a little tough. Dido versus Kishiro Thumb War, be there.
Oh my goodness.
That would be funny. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot for joining us on the show. For my friends, the great Adekiji, GQ, Simon Says, and King Amarak. We'll see you guys later. Have a really good one. Have a good night.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Take it easy.
Everybody go to YouTube and watch GQ's latest Deadpool merchandise video. It's really fun. It's in 4K, too. You're going to enjoy it.
4